Hi, I'm Candace Blanchard, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Beverly Hanks TV, where we're helping you live the life you choose in Western North Carolina. Real estate is about so much more than four walls and a roof. It's about how a community really lives and thrives. Marshall, North Carolina is known as the town that's 1 mile long and 1 street wide. Nestled between one of the oldest rivers in the world and the steep Appalachian Mountains, this southern mountain town just a few miles north of Asheville is experiencing a bit of a renaissance. Today, we'll talk to an artist, a historian, and an entrepreneur, who all are a part of the magic and allure that keep visitors and residents returning to this charming mountain town in Madison County over and over again.
My family has been in business in Marshall since 1925, but our family has been in Western North Carolina since the 1760s. As this was a drover's trail and it was the easiest way for people to move things, usually livestock, were driven along a path that became the Buncombe Turnpike along this river. Stock stands grew up, and that created our county seat, later to be the county seat of Marshall. Until the 1970s, it depended on that drover traffic, the traffic coming through here. And now it's transcended that to be a destination, not a pass-through point. During that time, to drive through Marshall could take as much as 30 minutes because this was Highway 2570, the main route north and south that passed right through this town. So every piece of rolling stock, every motorcycle, every truck, every bus, every car with a family on vacation went right down this street here. Its first change came about in 1957 when the bypass was built. It took away the tourists and people who just passed through our town. It did keep us rural for a long time, and it kept people who didn't really want to try it out from coming. Of course, once the story got out about how nice it is and how wonderful the people are, then there's been a flood in here until this day.
Locally, the entrepreneurs and creative visionaries often lead the way in revitalizing a community. With all the activities going on in Marshall, it makes you wonder, is it the next up-and-comer? Marshall, North Carolina has the right combination of history, people and charm, and cookies to make you fall in love.
Had friends that lived here, and I would come to visit. They kept telling me about this great community and that it needed a coffee shop. When we opened, we had our Zuma Gold cookie, we had chocolate chip oatmeal raisins, but we found that people were traveling a long distance for one Zuma Gold cookie. A $1 cookie, people would drive from Black Mountain, from Hendersonville, just all over the community, and the word sort of spread around. It's a love affair between cookie and community, basically. When I moved here, it was basically offices for the county that were here. Those moved to the bypass, so it really opened up this huge space for people to move in and kind of create a neighborhood as we went along. So very organically, it's kind of transformed into an arts and music community. Music and art has just always have been a part of this area. And now just with the people who are coming here, it's just gaining that spirit again.
I only heard about Marshall in the context of studio space. You know, it was a small town north of Asheville, and there was this rumor of this guy, this crazy guy, Rob Pauline, who was renovating this old school and making studios, and kept coming up in conversation. So I said, all right, I gotta drive out and check it out. And I came up here and loved the studio space. And as I got to know everybody, I found out that everybody was great, and it was a really welcoming small town. And so then I gave living here a try, and I've been here, you know, over 6 years now. I love having Marshall as my base. The artist community here is really strong. I'm happy to be a part of that, of course. And it's been growing since I came here. The studios are pretty much full here. We've got about 25 classroom-sized studios that are filled up with every different kind of artist you can pretty much think of. I mean, we've got sculptors, and we've got people that work in clay, and we've got people that work in fibers. People next door make backpacks, and they weave. So Marshall High Studios welcomes visitors anytime. We don't get as much foot traffic as the River Arts District, but that's why people are here. So you're welcome to come and knock on the door and see if anybody's there, and everybody's happy to show you around, show you what they're working on.
Live in a region long enough, and you will undoubtedly hear about a town that shifted one way while the freeway bypass shifted another. But as it oftentimes happens in an area teeming with history and culture, the community rises again.
Now people come here because it's a beautiful place to come. It's more of a destination than it ever has been in my lifetime for sure, and maybe even in the history of the town. It's that sort of thing gives a life to a place that you can't really define. It's just the beauty and the tranquility of being here in this lovely valley that along the second oldest river in the world, in the oldest mountains of the world, that gives you a peace that's beyond understanding.
To learn more about Marshall and all the great communities our area has to offer, contact your Beverly Hanks associate or use the community search function at beverlyhanks.com. And until next time, no matter where you live, don't forget, live the life you choose.